They didn't know that I could enter Aba without rice, and that is why their principal had to go and borrow people who are doing salah.
It is a political persecution. We have a law, and that law allows for people to be treated with dignity.
There were personnel that were fully kitted, fully armed, and very intimidating and harassing my immediate family members to the effect.
Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time and place you're watching this video. This is still your favorite channel, Big Nichols TV, and on this one we'll be talking about Sowore's claim over Peter Obi, and also the continued detention of Nasiru El-Rufai, and also the EFCC raided Abubakar Malami's home in Abuja. The former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who is still in court with EFCC and the federal government of Nigeria. EFCC went to raid his home. Meanwhile, Sowore said Peter Obi borrowed crowd in Kanu State, and that Peter Obi is actually jealous of him. That is why he went as far as going to borrow crowd. That when Peter Obi saw the crowd he pulled in Aba, he was actually stunned. They couldn't believe he could actually pull such crowd without going there with beans and gari and rice and all of that. That Peter Obi has actually lost credibility. That Peter Obi doesn't really have that impact again to pull large crowd. Not be small thing where Sowore Nigerians are beginning to see the true color of Sowore. I don't know why Sowore is bent on fighting and trying to bring down Peter Obi. And one of the things that amazes me is that Peter Obi has never for once responded to Sowore. Neither has he ever called out Sowore before. So what is the obsession with Peter Obi? That is the question. Why is Sowore always after Peter Obi every time he's out there, or he's even given opportunity to actually make a statement? It is always Peter Obi this, Peter Obi that. Now, this issue that the opposition is facing, the Nigerian opposition parties are facing a lot of problems right now, and it's all because of Bola Tinubu and APC. You can see it from all indication. Anybody that raises his head against this present administration will either face threats of being sent to prison, like what Malami is facing now. They almost brought down his house, all because he refused to join the APC. This is the same Malami that over the years has stayed away from APC, and nobody said anything, and he did not go to any political party, and that is why they were still quiet. He was still in his party. He didn't decamp until he decamped to ADC. That is when he started having problem. The same thing to Nasiru El-Rufai. Nasiru El-Rufai went to, was outside Nigeria, and when he was invited by the EFCC, he came back and voluntarily went to EFCC to know why he was being invited. Upon his arrival, they seized him, and that was it. Still today, Malami is still in detention. They went to court yesterday, and the case is still ongoing. Peter Obi condemned it and called it politically motivated action, which is targeted at undermining the electoral process, and undermining their fundamental human rights, undermining democracy, and trying to breach the rule of law, which is obvious. The court has not given an order that Malami's home should be destroyed, but EFCC are now running helter-skelter trying to bring it down. Why shouldn't the law be followed? I need you guys to watch the video from the beginning to the end. I need you to listen to what Sowore talk. Sowore don't they talk again. Watch the video to the end, and also share your opinion in the comment section regarding the issue.
They're upset about Otti when they saw the organic crowd that received me in Aba. They didn't know that I could enter Aba without rice, and that is why their principal had to go and borrow people who are doing salah in Kano, and they are celebrating it. Oh, Peter Obi was in Kano, he met with Kwakwaso. When did Kwakwaso become a saint? Is it not the same Kwakwaso you were abusing in 2023, that he's a saboteur for not working with Peter Obi? Suddenly Kwakwaso is a saint because he borrowed you the crowd in his compound in Kano, where they are eating salad. That's why I say be careful before they start telling you that if you go to a club, it's an alliance. If you go attend a party, it's also an alliance. You go attend wedding, it's an alliance. Well, those ones might have value. I don't know, but let's just play this honestly. Because if you are condemning the city boys, you will also have a right to condemn your village thieves. I was telling you that how many alliances can somebody have in 2 years or 3 years? It's but it wasn't an alliance. I think at this point, after having realized that we were right, that our alliance is the most solid, which is the alliance of the oppressed, they keep going around the country to create an impression that they have alliance. So when parties want to align, don't they make public statements about it? You cannot just go to a Salah party and call it an alliance before people start entering clubs and calling it alliance. And what they must also recognize is that the time for lying to Nigerian people is over. So many of these very childish tactics have, as they say, they don't cast. So, but we have no problem against those who want to align with whomever they want. They must also understand that other people are entitled to have alliances. I may not align, because the problem most Nigerians have with their language and tone and rhetoric is that they are only the ones who have the right to align with whomever they want. Without criticism. And they are the only people who ask not to be criticized. I've never heard that before. If you are criticizing other people, you now say you can't be criticized, and like I said, you are not ready for prime time. And it is when you have something to hide that you run away from criticism. And you bully people and harass them. Oh, how dare you touch my anointed? That anointing oil has expired.
When some persons come to power.
Yes. So that's we have no problem, but we are more interested in our own alliance, which is the alliance of the oppressed, not this bogus alliance. We cannot align with people who ruined Nigeria. We keep saying it. We cannot align with the criminal group.
It is a political persecution. We have a law, and that law allows for people to be treated with dignity until they are found guilty. Let our law prevail. How do you tell somebody you're inviting him, he came back voluntarily in the country on his own, and you're treating him like somebody who is running away? No. Let the law follow its course. I've said it, I've written about it, and I continue to say so.
They were personnel that were fully kitted, fully armed, and very intimidating and harassing my immediate family members, to the effect that they came to serve letters of invitation. So letters were eventually served, not only in respect of the house where they found me, but then my other multiple houses and business premises were all embedded today, being the 23rd day of March 2026, by personnel that claim to have come in from EFCC. I find that attitude very amazing and very, perhaps, I found it very amazing. Amazing in the sense that, to my knowledge, indeed there was an order of the court dated 6 January 2026 for interim forfeiture of my properties. But the implication of that order that was granted was that it was an order in respect of which my person was given an opportunity of 14 days within which to respond. Now the issue is, we have responded, we joined issues before the court, and filed an application for such order to be set aside. Well, the fact that insinuations associated with the unfolding drama honestly points to a clear direction of political motivation. Even as of today, as you rightly know, a lot of people are coming around to show their solidarity, arising from the fact that they were of the view and opinion that the undertones associated with my detention in custody for over 99 days, contrary to what is tolerated constitutionally of 48 hours without being charged to court, were indeed actions that are not only arbitrary, but then that now points to a direction of political intimidation. But the fact that among the people that fed a courtesy visit, a solidarity visit to my house, today, being the 23rd day of March 2026, were the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Wazir Adamawa Atiku Abubakar, and then the EFCC came over to invade my property, to invade my premises shortly thereafter, points to a clear possible calculation, possible conclusion that the matter, indeed the actions were politically motivated. The right to vote and be voted for is constitutional. I am a Nigerian that is equally entitled to the enjoyment of those privileges. So the idea of a kind of perhaps reconsidering my ambition associated with governorship is not on table as far as discussions is concerned. It's constitutional, and I will certainly exercise my constitutional right over it.
This is what show me why I just get it like what my why are you allowed by the court order after the grant of this order to come over and take by property? External operated is when the matter is pending before the court, can you operate extraordinary right? And this is the right you are exercising here. Once a property is under, is it under provision when an order has elapsed? Order granted for provision has elapsed, and then you are coming to embarrass today early in the morning. You are in my other house, and then you are here. Why is the order that gave you the permission to come over to my property and mark them? Is the order I want? This is the order I gave you. Show me why it is stated that you should come over to my property. This is the order. And this is what including you have to do. You have to come. I am telling you. Please, don't tell it. Please. Why is order? The order here is not specific, giving you clear directives to come and mark my property. And then this matter is pending in court. Where is the order from the court that gave you permission? Are you coming here to embarrass me unnecessarily? Because I am in court with the efcc, so you are embarking on a position now to move nationwide and embarrass me? Well, then what is it? What is it about? Why is the order? Without an existing court order, when a matter is pending in court, you are coming all over my properties to embarrass me. That's the way it is done. Okay, go ahead, we meet in court. Let them go ahead, and then we meet in court.
Well, Sowore, I double dare Sowore to actually go to Kano State, pay them, let them come out. That is one thing I want to see. I want Sowore to go to Kano State and bring that same crowd that he claims that Peter Obi borrowed. Let him go and borrow the same crowd. Let us see if they will come out like this to support him. That is fact. I mean, Sowore has never ceased to actually seize any given opportunity to attack the opposition. At the moment, he claims that he's the only one that is perfect. Bola Tinubu, whom we know he's supporting, he's always trying a way to make it look as if he's not supporting him. But in the real sense, he's supporting Bola Tinubu because Sowore himself knows that he cannot win election in Nigeria. Sowore does not have anything, what it takes to even generate up to 1 million votes. What am I even saying? 100,000 votes Sowore cannot generate. And so he knows what he's doing is just to scatter the opposition, which is against Bola Tinubu. And this is the strategy he's using. The APC are using him to do. They are trying to use him to scatter the minds of Nigerians against the opposition. But it's not going to work because Nigerians have suffered a lot and we need a different government. We need people that have our interests, that have people who represent us very, very well. We don't need people who is after their own stomach and they are forgetting the duty of which they were elected in different offices. Now, to the persecution of Nigerians who are saying no to APC. You can see that APC has collected 31 states. It's not 31 governors. Yes, about 31 states now are now 31 governors now are now APC governors, and those ones were never persecuted. None of them is in court. None of them have been taken to court for any reason at all. Once you join APC, your sins are forgiven. That is what is going on. Why is that the Nigerian people are not allowed to belong to different parties even after they have taken 31 states or 31 governors? Still, they are still fighting. They are still not convinced that they are going to win the election. Allow election to be run free and fair. Let the people choose who they want. Since you claim that you are so in charge, that you have taken over, give us free and fair election and let us see if truly you'll be re-elected. Before 12 noon, they would have gone. Well, guys, much you can take on this phone. Now, don't forget to smash the like button, share this video, subscribe, and also stay tuned because more updates on this will be coming your way.